No, we're good. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not ready for this. Bro, I'm like so invested in Queen's story, man. It's like it it almost like, how do I word? I'm as invested in Queen's story as I would be for like my own character. I don't know, yeah. Yeah, well, maybe. I just like Queen in general. Like, her whole story's fucking detailed to shit, and I like it. Yeah. Can you hear my voice changer? I told my chat we'd probably like chat about it afterwards a bit and kind of like explain why, how they got there. Yeah. Not even. I just don't think we expected the Malleus scene to go the way it did. In the kind of, yeah, I was telling them we already kind of had like a plan thought out in our heads of what we wanted at the end of it, and like it almost felt too convenient for it to have ended then. But yeah, I'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah. Queen, you're gonna die. I've come to kill you. Oh my god. I can't believe you just said that. I love Bo Burnham. Did my chat break? If none of you is interested,
You be the first. Welcome to the internet. It has a bell tolled every now and then.
oh yeah, it's that
And
good old
ambience. Mm-hmm.
Is this in District 0?
Probably like on the outskirts somewhere. Because imagine, because obviously trees don't exist in District 0, so.
It's all plastic.
I mean, it depends. I don't think Queen would actually ever get to go outside of District 0, so I have no idea if actually no. This is probably in District 0, and these are probably just weird, like synthetic, like hologram plants. Because this is actual soil in the bed in the ground. Fuck. And then the more I think about this, the more I'm also a bit like, this place makes no canonical sense. Oh shit. Maybe, okay,
It's fine, it's fine.
Okay, we'll say it's outside of Sophia or somewhere where there's actually still dirt and trees. Like
Okay. But that's fine. It doesn't matter, you're not a gang member anymore, remember?
Yeah, but King and everyone else is buried when she was a gang member.
I know, you know. It's fine. Shh, don't talk about it.
Okay.
Time to get emotional.
Oh god, don't say that. Right. Right, you ready?
Ready when you are.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Angela. Hey, Lois. Sorry that I haven't been around. Been busy. Sorry that I haven't really been taking care of myself either. It's it's been difficult. I have no idea where Vic is, but I imagine he's doing well. Disappeared from what he was doing. But I'm sure he's still alive. He's too stubborn, especially considering that, well, he is the last of the family tree. And Lewis. Had an interesting story. This new recruit, this new whisperer called Onslaught, I think it was. We had a tournament to determine the new champion. Said she was a fan of yours. Heard your stories and idolized you. Bit rough around the edges though. She's not quite your material. I doubt anyone could be your material, but I gave him a pep talk. They seemed a bit downtrodden. They didn't win the competition. But the title of champion was never earned. It was given. Or at least it was something you asked for and took obliged. Back then no one had an idea of a champion. And you kinda just made it your own, didn't you? You made some very big boots to fill. That I doubt anyone can do in this day and age. I've had people say I'm the unofficial champion of the Whisperers, at least back when I was part of the Hollow. I don't quite believe it. I was never really popular with people. Be shady, antisocial, and I closed people off. Other than that, doing a bit okay, I guess. But could be better. But isn't that always the case with me? Always good, but never the best. Always strong, but never strong enough. met Malleus yesterday. That was one hell of a experience. How foolish you were thinking back then that we could defeat him. Go to Marlow City and burn it to the ground and save loads of people. Big aspirations and no means to fulfill it. Probably because no one's actually ever fought him before. But fighting him... it's just... It's unwinnable. How do you fight something like that? How... There's a reason why District Zero doesn't like non-humans. I guess you could say it's just down to feeling inferior. Not being able to change how things are just because we're weak. Well, it was nice. It was nice speaking to you too. But I'm here to see someone else as well. Ayuna. First, I ask for your forgiveness. I put you in danger again. Put you in a situation where I could have prevented something bad happening. Could have went lethal against Lucky. Maybe I would have put out ahead, but I wanted the best of both worlds. And I ended up with nothing. Lost Lucky, lost you. I took a gamble and lost. And I have no one but myself to blame for that. But yesterday could have been different. Maybe if I just was a bit more firm in my beliefs. How strong to my belief in you, to your image, maybe you wouldn't have been tainted. Who am I kidding? Even if I did do that, I'm sure Marius would have corrupted that very image of you still. And despite that, when it came to your last moments again, I saw how you ended up after Lucky. Decapitated. And no doubt in the same position I had you in yesterday. To not go about it once, but twice. Cool of me to do that, right? I've been thinking since then, since the hospital, since coming back, and I want to say goodbye on my terms, properly, not through negativity or violence. We're saying goodbye on a positive note, without these feelings of doubts and regrets. That's how I wanted to go. To get a chance to say goodbye to someone I cared about in a way that I want, and not some way that is determined by fate or someone else's hand. So, I apologize. But I want to use your memory just one last time to end it on a happy note. I know it's asking for too much. But I want something. I want something positive from this. want to let go.
Is that what you really want?
Yes. Just one chance. One chance to make it right.
You've been doing this a long time, Queen. It's okay to say goodbye.
I've never been good with saying goodbyes. Look at me. The crown on my head. Even this is symbolism.
If we do this, we have to do it right this time.
I know.
Can you do that? To yourself?
I at least owe it to your memory. And not to let you go with his taint as my last memory of that. You deserve a proper send-off. I need to wipe my nose. Fuck.
Queen, when we first met, I think I was ready to let go of you the first day I met you. But there was something about you that just persisted. But persisting alone forever. It's not something I would have wanted for you. And I think you know that.
Yeah, I know. But what you want from me? There's Every time I make a connection, get close to someone, Von Barnes is taken from me every time. I'm tired of it. And even these bonds I'm forming with Sakoto, she's the one most at risk, more than anyone else I've met. I should just cut ties with her. She's around Malleus and he's volatile, and yesterday is a good example of that. It's not...
You can't let go of that.
You just walk into a wall.
Not again.
And you expect me to just hold on to it? Fight him? Something that can't be killed? I struck at him multiple times, and he can take me into his little...
It's not about Malleus, Queen. It's more than Malleus. It's about you. You don't get to live forever. You're strong, but you're not invincible. You're fragile because you're human, not some entity, some eldritch being. You were made to live a life, and you almost did. You can't lose that again. This is different. It's something without connections, without ties, without loyalty, without bond. It's just natural. Somebody that came to you in the dark. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Forget Malleus. He doesn't have to be a part of this story. That is your decision.
How can you say he's not part of the story when he's irrevocably connected to Sakoto? There's other people which I could befriend, could start again, meet new bonds.
You should ask for change. For a difference. You've always followed in other people's shadows, footsteps. Their wants, their needs. You have a voice, so you should use it. If you care for this person, Queen, you should not let them walk into the clear trap in front of them. Wait for the inevitability of them to crawl up and die. You can change that. But already letting Malleus win. Already throwing in the towel. You don't have to do that. It doesn't need to be another grave. I will be here until you make that journey. until you don't need me anymore.
Thank you.
But we need to get there first. It's not gonna be easy. By any means.
Yeah, wasn't easy with Strange. And Strange was a small fry in comparison to Malleus.
How hard could making friends be?
Sorry, you had to repeat yourself. I've hard of hearing.
I said, how hard could making friends be?
Can't be much harder than fighting a literal walking machine or an eldritch entity.
I know you can do it. Without the armor, without the sword. Though it would come in handy, probably. It is severe after all.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
You sure you want to do this? One last time? It's right there, you know.
It's not every day I get to make amends with the demons in my head. With manifestations, I guess. Hell, if I'd had it with King, maybe I would have done the same. But maybe because I wasn't there when you died, I feel regret.
Then let's make it right for all of them.
I'm speaking as if Melly is also in the same situation, but she's still alive to some extent. I still don't know how I feel about that.
Then let's go figure it out. Can't be that complicated.
She's a computer, a Magitech machine, a consciousness uploaded somewhere or something. And it sounds complicated to me. At least for King, he was still human and just had cybernetics. This is different.
You know, if I help you with all this, you have to get me sushi. I'm actually hungry.
Well, I'm taking a break. So, how about we go somewhere right now for my treat?
Sure. Sounds good. Hey, no drinking. Last time you drunk, I still have weird memories.
Yeah, I guess I was
You
quite...
and alcohol are not a good mix.
I guess I did make myself look like quite the mess.
That's an understatement. Good thing I was there.
What would you do without me?
Probably be an alcoholic or in a ditch somewhere, I imagine. What's your favorite kind of sushi?
I like the ones with the flat salmon on top. The little rice clumps. I don't know what they're called. I used to
Salmon?
buy them in the packet. Yeah, they're like rice.
That's such a plain response.
Yeah, I don't like the ones with cucumber or anything. They're kind of gross.
So you like nigiri or sashimi, I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And scene. Okay, 1 second. I need to wipe my face.
Oh boy.
Let's move into the light somewhere because it's very dark over here and it's very hard to see anything.
We can go to a different world if you want.
Oh,
or
yeah, sure.
Sit in here.
Do you have a different world to go to? I'm terrible at finding worlds in VR chat. You know this.
I do have a comfy world.
Yeah.
That's pretty chill. Where is it? It's a really nice map that came out when Christmas was a thing. There it is. There you go. Oh, I can't put it. Horrible.
Yeah. This is because it's a small one, technically. There we go.
Hello.
Hello. Alright.
This is a pretty cozy world.
It is. I'm gonna get into the super depressed queen just because she's a bit more comfortable to be in.
Yeah.
Don't have the arm or anything else. Oh god. Okay,
I'm just
that actually went a lot better than I thought it
setting up
was.
my camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It took a bit of time for me to kind of get into the, like, obviously I'm still kind of emotionally charged from yesterday, but it takes a bit of time for me to charge into that kind of mindset. So it took a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, I think it was pretty good.
Sorry. I'm just setting up my camera
No, you're fine.
so I can see myself and us. Oh god. Is there like a collider thing in this world?
Yeah, it's right there.
There is. Damn it. I'm gonna fucking turn that off. So I can sit by the couch.
So the
Turn on my flying and set us up. There you go.
So the crazy thing is, when you turn off the voice mod, and it was just regular Yuna, God, I, like, out of
Yeah.
character, had, like, almost like it was just, like, Queen was in a happy place. Like,
Yeah, you like that? You like my little subtle, it like got lower and lower and got more normal as we went on. Also, I got rid of her I can't
Transparentness.
because I don't have the neck injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started off as transparent because I was faded and I wasn't really like forming too much. And then I became a bit more like substance. And then her injury started to clean up. Like the black eye went away, the blood started to fade, and then the voice started to become more like real and present. The more she wanted or believed in creating her or her being real to her. Yeah, that was really good. So I guess we could like go over some of the reasons of like why I might have seemed like backtracking a little bit, but I think you can correct me or talk whenever, but just to set kind of like the foundation, me and Quish set up like an idea to have like this arc where Queen eventually would like obviously get over Yuna, but on her own terms. We've been planning that for a long time. A lot of you kind of could like see that for the RP. We never really sat down and talked to our viewers and we're like, okay, there's a start and a finish to this thing that we're doing. Because a lot of Queen going into the metaverse and things like that kind of like changed up opportunities for us and what we could do with our story, and her not being related to gang. In the beginning, it was very much like, you know, Yuna died. It was a very distant kind of just shadowy figure that propped up to kind of traumatize her in a way.
Basically
and
bully me.
Be that.
That whole mana cave where Kai was like, you need to put this on. I was like, what the fuck do you need to put this on? What is it? It's like, don't worry about it, just put it on. I was like, huh? And then it's like showed up with these things, and I remember watching a stream back and you guys are just giggling, being like, do this to Quish, shoot this to Quish, and I was like, you fucking assholes. It was great, but
But yeah, it was very basic at first, right? And it was very much like, you know, meant to be this more horror experience than it was like something she could hold on to. But the more that Queen went on, I think the more she became attached to it and utilized it as a way to ground herself from her emotions. It was like this thing I can use as a way to visually remember my friend. And, you know, I think Queen in the beginning was very much like, why are you talking to me? You're not real. This is fake. And as time went on, she started to very much just kind of accept that it was there and mold it how she wanted to. And I very much tried to like keep the distance. I always would mention like we and our, kind of implying that we were the same person. And anytime Queen would bring up like, oh yeah, you're just imagination after all, I would always try to like disappear after you said that, because it's like you realizing in that moment, not real, and then it's like no point keeping it.
Basically it manifests whenever Queen's feeling very emotionally or mentally low, because it's like she needs some form of comfort, because not like for any slack towards the other gang characters, right? Because Queen is a very hard character to approach. These are people who said to me out of character, a character that she's too scary, she's too intimidating, they don't want to approach her. So Queen needs someone, therapy preferably, but she doesn't have that. So it happens, your brain tries to find ways to cope, to comprehend some things, and that's how Yuna comes about. So when, like Kaz was saying about the whole we, our, that's Queen understanding it's like her conscious bit has a different visual appearance, but when she's feeling very low and like depressed, it will be speaking as if it's like Yuna, I, and you know, me, and that kind of, although it's bad, it's kind of bringing her comfort in a weird way. That's at least how I see it.
Yeah. So, and after all that started to like get somewhere, me and Kush sat down and we were like, hey, it'd be really cool if there was like an eventuality where Queen gets over this thing and she comes to peace with it, and it's kind of like a big farewell thing and all that. I think we were thinking about doing it in a mindscape ourselves when it became relevant. Very up in the air topics, but there was meant to be like, we were pretty much like, okay, it's this thing, it's her just creating it. It's not like a ghost. It's not like it's a deep hallucination based on her traumas and fears and a bunch of other stuff. And the goal is to get rid of it. But oh my god, then the Malleus event happened, and bro, that was crazy.
I think the Malleus stuff is really, really good.
Like,
but yeah, sorry.
yeah, it was amazing. But I don't think either of us were like necessarily expecting it to go the way that we thought it would go, or make it seem like the direction we were expecting with like Yuna and Queen, because it very much the cards were laid out and it was like really well done, and it was almost like picture perfect of like almost not what we wanted, but it was a good ending if it was to end there, basically, right?
Yeah.
And I think both of us just consciously were like, this is a good place to end it, I guess. But then we were like, But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Kaz mentioned that he didn't think it was particularly very Queen, and there's some of it I do agree with and disagree with. If Queen were to move on for something, like say, for example, she was killing Yuna and that's kind of moving on from it, it makes sense. But we have found that as it's always been going on, Queen has not been able to move from people's deaths, essentially. Like King died, she hasn't moved along from that. Millie died, she hasn't moved along from that. Yuna died, hasn't moved along from that. So even though it felt like then it was it's a great time for it to kind of move on, she's kind of killed the part of her that's trying to remember those kind of things. It's tragic, but not the right kind of tragic for Queen. And considering she's been Queen is she's just tragedy wrapped up in more tragedy. There's never really a highlight. So having it where it ends on a positive note and she's kind of, again, saying goodbye on her own terms, it feels like a very good character kind of development and growth.
The way that I explained it, that I think makes the most sense to you before, was when Queen was in the Mindscape, she almost became a different person. She didn't want to give in to what Malleus was expecting of her, or what she thought Malleus wanted of her. When fighting Aiden and Oops, she did everything in her power to be different and to not give in to fighting, not give in to killing. Where that's the only thing that Queen has ever kind of known in her life being brought up. It's just violence, survival, and things like that, instinct. And she kind of went against that, and that was really awesome. And a different part of Queen that we don't usually see. And when it came back to seeing Yuna, I don't think it made, or we kind of talked that it didn't really make much sense, or when it came to killing Yuna, it was as if she failed, right? It was that moment of not killing Oops and Aiden was kind of her almost coming to clarity, or with herself, and being accepting of I don't have to do this, I don't have to give in to my mind. But then when it came back to the end,
she basically fell at the quick time event. She did so well doing everything else, she healed, but when it came to the last bit and she kind of goes, it's they go to Lord of the Rings. They get to the fucking volcano. He's at the throw in. It's throw the ring into Isildur. Throw the ring into the volcano. He's no. It's kind of what Queen kind of did that in a very weird way.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of, I think, is a good symbolism that Queen, despite taking that big leap to change and be different, I don't think anyone can really fully heal, even in reality. No one can really fully heal that much in one go to just fix all the problems. You relapse, things happen, and I think the thing that probably snapped her out of it was when she was crouched over over Yuna, had the blade to her neck. I remember thinking about it after character I was doing the stuff. I was this is 1 for 1 how Yuna died to Lucky, and I was man. This is so fucked up. She's killing Uni exact same way Lucky did, and obviously she didn't know about this, but she kind of hypothesized that because obviously she saw the resulting body of Yuna being decapitated without any head. She assumed that's what happened. She doesn't know how it happened, but she was like, I can't decapitate someone who I consider to be a very close friend of mine, like almost like a sister. And that's the reason why she went for the chest plunge instead. And it was, man, I need to try not to get emotional because I feel like, you know, it's different. It's different when I'm in character, but when I'm out of character, it's a bit like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it was very emotionally impactful and has a lot of weight to it. And it's kind of crazy how much weight
I know,
it
like,
has.
in the moment, it felt like a big... I think we both agree that in the moment, it felt like, wow, this, if it was to end here and we would just stop the arc, then that would have been pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
But
it would be like
also,
almost
like,
perfect to finish it there.
character-wise, I think it just felt a bit like we agreed that it felt a little bit distant from how Queen would have wanted to end it, and how she explained in character. It was like, I want to end it on my terms, not because Malleus forced me into this situation where he manipulated one of my memories and then I had to kill off that memory. It's like, you know, very reminiscent of Lucky forcing Queen to have to fight to protect her friend, and then her losing her friend because somebody else made that decision. And I think they just kind of came to terms with like how we actually want to end it, which, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much or really say the whole spiel, but the event was really cool, and I feel like it involved a lot of like Malleus and his like mindscape, his mind. He had his
That's
children.
really interesting
I'm
lore,
not too sure
and
there was. Yeah.
like,
I don't think there was many implications to Sakoto. Not that I knew.
I think
don't know
the
too much about
pizza
Sakoto.
I think the pizza stuff was related to Sakoto, and I think I said this in character when it was like the big like stone place with the tree branches all over the place. Because he did say, and at the end of it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes lots of sense. It's kind of great how they managed to weave all together. But he said that this mindscape was a amalgamation of all the mindscapes. So Aiden's was that big stone kind of place with oops there, and also the roots, because he's got his left arm's like part plant at the moment. Could not tell you what the other ones are. I feel like the casino was more kind of like making a mockery of like your trauma, how like you kind of, you know, gamble and everything else, and it just makes it worse. And you have to eat the like the bitter food, and you know, can you swallow it twice after experience it once? It was beautifully. It's very symbolic, and I was like, wow, this is a really good way of kind of good way of showing off the trauma or mistakes or anything, kind of guilt or anything like that of the character, and kind of just making it very uncomfortable, but also like, wow, this is. I'm lost for words at the moment, but it was very good. It
was an awesome.
The theater obviously is Stellaria. But he did. But Manny's, I think, did say that the last one was Queen's, the big like kind of open stone kind of place, which I think that's kind of accurate, because it's like the stone can be symbolism towards her being very stony faced. She doesn't.
It almost. Oh, man! If you think about it, you know, if only the ground was like checkered, it'd be like a giant chessboard with like broken pieces. Because a lot of the towers kind of look like chess pieces. That'd be kind of cool, but it wasn't. I know that some of the buildings did look like chess pieces, but still.
And there's also like a big open wasteland as well, which kind of felt like, you know, the nothingness that Queen feels when it comes to these kind of things. But to backtrack a little bit, because you said about how, you know, how Queen would deal with certain things. So after, this is for anyone who doesn't understand the context, and I haven't really explained it too well, or explained it at all. At the end of season 2, Queen threw her mask away, and that wasn't just like her because she was emotional, but that was kind of symbolism that she is kind of done with Queen. Queen is now more of an image than it was a part of a personality. It wasn't like it was like an alter ego in the past. And so now the version of Queen quote marks you have at the moment is more a amalgamation of Raven, Queen, and Sylvia Crown, the person behind the mask. And so I think the reason why you saw that part of her where she's willing to be different, and perhaps like regarding the Yuna situation, if it was Queen would kind of just accept the hardships that happened. Yuna's dead or someone else has died, and she'll just kind of swallow it and just be like, yeah, this is just how life is. It's bitter, it's foul, and you don't kind of live with it. But with Sylvia, she kind of wants to not be optimistic, but try to make something positive or good, despite the amount of negativity, which is why she wants to, as she said in the graveyard, is not an opportunity all the time where you get to make good on the demons or you talk with them. Because if King was also hitting her head, she would probably end up doing the same thing, because she would want to have unfulfilled dreams. Maybe if it was King, and this is a very extreme case, if it was King, maybe her like moving on from him would have been she finds someone to settle down with and adopt someone or has a kid. And that's kind of something that she would want to have for her and King. Whew, one.
You're good. I think like as well, just to like talk about, I think the event was amazing, but I don't like when we discussed it, and one of the reasons it kind of may feel like we're backtracking a little bit, I don't think it was like the end that we necessarily wanted or expected. As much as it was like really fucking good and would have been like, oh wow, this just works as an end, I feel like it leaves Queen in a very like still a very vulnerable space. And as she said before, a lot of Queen it's draped over her. And
good night, good name. Yes, we're just having like a debate about,
she does not
debate,
get over
discussion
things.
about.
She does not forget.
These,
she wears the crown of king. You know,
their thoughts and processes in case anyone feels like
sentimental with things.
Yeah,
So
Steve,
for Queen to get over somebody that
bye.
died more recently than somebody that died fucking 4 years ago and still hasn't gotten over it, we kind of like
King died,
was
I
like,
think, like God, how 2025. We started 2021, and he died around about 2022 in like January, February, March, April, May, around about that time. So he's been dead for like 2.5 years. Yuna has been dead just barely a year. I think she died. God, when did she die?
I don't remember the date, I'll be real.
Yeah, neither do I.
But to explain,
a year and a half?
I think like
A year and a half, maybe.
when it comes to like the end of that arc, I think we wanted to set something up a little bit like more personal that didn't involve like a bit of everything of something else, and involve like a lot of the gang members and people that Queen knows more personally. And I think we want to do kind of like a Mindscape thing, a bit like we saw, but obviously with our cast and maybe the involvement of some other people, and try and get Sakota involved. And we got some plans, but that's all up to improv and how things go and what people say out of character and what they want to do in character and all that jazz. But we got some plans, and I think at the end of the day, the ending that we were gonna do and what we wanted will actually be way fucking better for Queen mentally. And I think it will allow Queen to like move on to her next version of her in a way, you know.
Want to make it clear,
Who would Queen
we're not
be without the trauma?
You fucker. I want to make it clear, there isn't any kind of like, we're not retconning it, we're not do anything. We're not saying what happened didn't happen. We're not saying we're not. We're also not saying it's bad. It was great, but I guess what we're trying to say is through Queen's perspective, it's not how she currently wants to resolve said trauma. Because again, like I said, she's been resolving it through negativity, through killing things, through violence, and just kind of just swallowing the bitter draught that it is. So this is an opportunity for her to do it differently. I imagine it would probably lead to more situations in the future where there's probably more trauma, or Maddie is fucking with her again, and I just had a thought.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool if, because Marius does take ideas that, despite Queen killing Yuna there, he kind of keeps a piece of it, and it's like a weird situation where it's evil Marius Yuna versus Queen Yuna, and he just kind of just fight each other.
Oh my god, I gotta make a house of her version of Yuna and give it to him.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of funny. I'll talk to Hal about that. That'd be kind of cool.
It depends if that's not too too much, but I think it would be kind of, it plays into Marius's part of like he just manipulates and controls people's dreams or memories, and you know, it's Shadow. It can be like a weird situation where Marius blocks out regular Yuna, brings back the Shadow Yuna, saying that, oh, I caught your dream, I've got your memory again, Queen, like, ooh, I'm holding this over you. And then, you know, as Queen like, maybe gives into grief or kind of feels a bit too weak, about to do a killing blow, and Yuna, like normal Yuna, comes out of nowhere to defend her. This is going to be like a, I don't know, very kind of like nice twist.
Yeah, I get it.
Right, now I've spoiled it, but hopefully you guys forget when it comes to that and be like, oh wait, you know, the big surprise.
Just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing since.
Is Kyle allowed to join? He's requesting one for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head off.
Oh, is invite anyway, so I can't invite him. But yeah.
Well, I'll invite him. That's okay.
Mhm. But yeah, no, I hope this is a satisfactory answer to anyone who's kind of maybe not so much they dislike how things went, but more about like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. We have thought about it. I thought about it extensively because I don't want things to seem like I'm farming for content or I'm doing it because, ooh, drama. It's a lot of stuff I do is very much based upon what makes sense for the character, and if it portrays and fits the narrative of what the character has been so far.
Yeah, I think we just wanted to clarify that it might have seemed like backtracking or like something that was really good story-wise. We didn't want it to feel like we were excusing what happened, because we thought that was fucking great, but we also wanted to use that as fuel to do what we wanted to do originally.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. So I feel like I don't think Queen would have wanted to heal. I think if that didn't happen with Malleus, Queen would have just swallowed in it, having Ghost Yuna follow her for eternity. But with that happening, she doesn't know when Yuna's going to get corrupted again. She doesn't know when things are going to improve. So this is actually pushing in a direction to actually want to end this on a good note, on a happy note, and see things get better. She actually wants to heal. Especially after the pizza scene where it's just like, oh, you eat the food, and although she was very knowledgeable and was just like, yeah, I've eaten this meal many times before, so I'm not affected by it. She did have a lot of introspection, was like, yeah, it's bitter tasting, it's horrible, I accept these feelings, but I don't like feeling shit about it still. And then it comes to the natural conclusion of, if I don't like feeling shit about it, I need to try and change something. I need to try to make something better and heal from it. Don't let my trauma constantly just be a reminder of bad times.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, I'm really gonna head out and go get myself some food because I'm hungry. But yeah, thank you for.
Thanks for having this conversation, and also thank you much for being there for the scene. It was great. I like little context scenes for this. Like,
Mm.
it's only been, what, an hour and a half? But it felt really
Yeah.
impactful to hear about this. And explore this a little bit.
Okay,
Take care, Kaz.
I'm heading out.
Bye, Kaz's chat.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a good one.
This motherfucker couldn't stay for like another like 5 minutes for me to join the fucking world. I can't believe it.
Yeah, he's hungry. He wants to eat.
Me.
I can actually see Mao using devil units to absolutely fuck with Queen in the future. Yeah, I can see him doing that. How many units is poor Queen gonna have to go through until she can truly accept it? Only time will tell. I think eventually she will have too many negative experiences, which kind of feels like it's just worth giving up on. Like trying to make something good, trying to make a good situation. Sorry, trying to make a bad situation good. There's only so many times you can do it before you kind of go, it's just pointless. It's not going to happen, but it's, you know. But yeah, obviously Sakoto is probably going to have a big part in the whole healing process due to psionic powers, as well as being a shrine priestess. Maybe she thinks it's like a spirit or whatnot. Other people would probably be involved with it as well, such as people from the gang. Gus could probably help because he's with mind sculpt stuff. Again, it's all very much up. Where'd you go? It's very much all up in the air, and yeah, I wouldn't say anything's like solidified at the moment, but we're definitely thinking about it and want to make it a good story to tell. But anyway, it's getting late, and I've only been in VR for a bit, but you know, I don't really have any other roleplay to do. Is Oblivious still streaming? I'm not sure if she is or not.
Subscribe to Q.
No, don't do that. Definitely. It has... Like Kaz said on his stream, that he's very invested in Queen's story, and good lord, it is... I don't like talking about myself and giving myself praise, but it's a very good story, and I don't think I would ever be able to beat the story. Maybe it's because of the improviness in regards to it, or how things are developing with Queen, but it's in my eyes really good. There's holes in it. What story doesn't have holes, but it feels very rich. So you got an option between of us raiding Oblivious or House of Her. There's others, but I kind of want to go to those two, considering, you know, had it seen yesterday.
Just go to Howl.
Go to Howl? Okay, yeah.
My boy Howl. I wish he was still streaming Final Fantasy Rebirth.
He is indeed.
But no, he had to go to the stupid Palace party. As Mally as fucking McKay. I think.
Yeah, he's as Manius McKay. Oh, there he is.
Did Kaz go as Aki?
No, he came here and did a scene with me. He went to ISB and then did a scene with me.
Damn. Yeah. He went to go play Xbox as Aki. His direct words. This motherfucker.
Yeah, Malleus Una. Ah, god, that. I knew out of character immediately, like, this is Malleus. In character, though, I was a bit like, I need to kind of give lie to it initially, because it's just for, like, story reasonings or story purposes, so she kind of went along with it, but, god, that was a weird experience. Malleus Una is, for Queen, very much nightmare fuel. But yeah, everyone, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you like what you saw here today, please consider giving me a follow. It helps the channel out, but most importantly, as you know when I go live again next. In the chat page.
Subscribe.
No, you don't need to subscribe. Just you showing up and watching my stuff and enjoying it is enough.
You should.
No, You don't. Okay, you don't. You should not. No, that's. Beer. Thank you much, Arcane Wing, for posting the chat command in the chat, where there's a link to. You made me flounder. There's a link to the Discord where you can join a wonderful community, and then you got me. Now I'm doing squats as well. Fine, I do 30 squats before doing it, while also doing everything else. So.
Hold up.
Oh God.
All right, go.
1 second. Okay. So yeah, there's a link to the Discord. We can join a wonderful community and have discussions with everyone in it regarding any roleplays I'm partaking. Gang RP, Eden and Lost are the two main ones, but there'll be more in the future. As and when I finish model work, if you want to post something, be sure to post in the respective channels. If the channel doesn't exist, we do have a feedback channel, so you can make requests there for anything you want to see added, changed, or put upon in the stream. 9. You might account for this for me, because I can't multitask. 10. Last but not least, we also have a Twitter. Is non-safe for work, so please no minors, but you'll also be notified when I go live as well, due to the Streamlabs Twitch integration. Although I'm not too sure if that is
13.
still working. I haven't really seen my news feed, so I'm not sure 14. If it's still posting it, but yeah. It's there, it exists.
15.
But yeah. That's it for today, everyone. We are going to go evade How to show our support. Well, actually, no, we'll do another 15 squats. So I reduce it by another 15, because I know I have a long queue.
Aren't you tired from yesterday?
I am tired, but I have 1 to 2 years of squats saved up, so I need to spend those. I actually don't think I cleared the previous ones, but I won't remove them because, yeah. Anyway, we'll see if we can do these squats before.
Just have a stream where you're just doing squats.
That would be a very short stream, I feel.
Just get everyone to do it with you.
5. Oh God.
Divvy out the squats.
6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. Okay, 30 squats, and just in time before you guys automatically go to House of Fur. Take care, everyone. Much love, appreciate you all, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Cringe.